The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hola everyone, welcome to Open, the one and only show bringing the best of the Bronx, New York, and the world straight to you. I'm Rhina Valentin, your hosty Café con Leche every Friday. Here's what's coming up in today's show. Leading things off, we'll share some humanitarian events you can join to help raise funds and supplies for Puerto Rico in this special edition of Open Weekend Preview. After that, we'll hear about the New York premiere of Paul S. Flores' We Have IRÉ, a musical celebrating the life of Cuban immigrants in America. Then we'll find out about the Bronx Council on the Arts' latest exhibition, The Update, which showcases 10 artists from the Bronx that use their life experiences and influences to create original works of art. And later on in the show, Bobby C brings us an up-to-date with the latest headlines in the world of sports. And lastly, this week's Open Artist Spotlight features Bronx native Xiolynn De La Rosa, who will perform her song, Vibes Is Off, on our Open Artist stage. So, sit back y prepárate. All this and more is headed your way because now we are officially open. Hello and welcome back to Open. I'm Rhina Valentin, your hosty Café con Leche every Friday. And well, you know, we're always inviting you to get social with us online. That is, tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV or like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And of course, while you're there, don't forget, follow moi on Twitter, Instagram, FB, and LinkedIn at Rhina Valentin. So it's Friday, and we have lots of events to share that are helping the people of Puerto Rico. And on January 7th, a 6.4 magnitude earthquake hit the island of Puerto Rico with hundreds of tremors since that has left people without shelter. So we want to share some relief efforts with you, and I suggest you go and get your pen and papers out for our humanitarian edition of Open Weekend Preview. The Point CDC is holding a fundraiser event for Puerto Rico entitled South Bronx con el Sur de Puerto Rico. This special event will be filled with poetry, live music, dance, theater, food, and more. The organization is supporting El Maestros Inc., New York con Puerto Rico, a project that has been collecting supplies for the relief assistance efforts, and all proceeds will go toward providing much needed on the ground assistance in Puerto Rico in partnership with El Maestro and their network of vetted grassroots organizations already mobilized on the island. The South Bronx con el Sur event will take place today, Friday, January 24th from 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. and that's happening at the Point CDC, which is located at 940 Garrison Avenue. And for more information, you can visit thepoint.org. Our BronxNet cameras had the opportunity to visit El Maestro Inc., New York, and we're going to take a look at the progress being made. Reporter Arlene McCoco has a story.
They wasted no time in collecting canned foods and other emergency relief items just days after a deadly 6.4 magnitude earthquake rattled Puerto Rico on Tuesday, January 7th, causing power outages and destroying buildings. Setting up boxes for donations 4 days later, as aftershocks continued, were volunteers here at El Maestro's Boxing Club on Southern Boulevard. They were guided by founding owner Fernando Ponce Laspina, who opened his doors to help his friends and neighbors to the south.
Our effort, it goes door to door.
Joined by New York State Assembly member Michael Blake Laspina, who expressed frustration over relief aid never getting to those who needed it most in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria, says he is sending directly to grassroots leaders that are ready to go to work.
We already have people waiting in Puerto Rico for it, and they're going to make sure that the families get this, that it gets there.
I'm flying down tonight. We have a few of our team members down there. Assemblywoman Maritza Davila is there right now.
Assemblymember Blake, whose district covers El Maestros, praised Laspina for his work and shared he's joining a team that includes New York State Assemblymember Maritza Davila from Brooklyn, there to assess the impact of the over 500 tremors and earthquakes since December 28th, according to the USGS.
She had a 15-car caravan in Ponce today, and she was on the road when the tremors were happening.
What's needed is almost everything. This is a literal disaster for those people.
Meanwhile, volunteers like Angel Cardona, a union carpenter, says it's about supplying food and confidence following the death of a 73-year-old who died after a wall collapsed on him, along with others who were injured.
It's the infrastructure failure. It's the home failures.
As you can see, some of the boxes already are filling up. El Maestros is inviting anyone with a donation to stop by next week, anytime between 5 and 8 o'clock. For BronxNet, this is Arlene Makoko.
Thank you, Arlene. As you can see, the Bronx is with Puerto Rico, and on Saturday, January 25th, El Maestro Inc., well, they're going to be filling up a cargo container beginning at 9:30 a.m., and they're looking for all hands on deck. So if you're interested in volunteering, please join and lend a helping hand at El Maestro, which is located at 1300 Southern Boulevard. And for more information, you can contact Professor Ponce Laspina at tu consentido 5@aol.com. So, in light of the circumstances in Puerto Rico, Bomba en Plena Group Bomba Yo is also holding a fundraiser for Borinquen on Friday, January 31st, from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., and that's happening at the Andrew Friedman Home, which is located at 1125 Grand Concourse. The event will be filled with open bombazo music and dance, food, and bomba draft raffle. And for more on this event, you can visit Eventbrite and search Bomba Yo fundraiser for Borinquen. And lastly, Warwick for Puerto Rico, in partnership with Coquito Restaurant, is holding a Puerto Rico relief fundraiser to assist the people affected by the earthquakes. And all proceeds will be donated to World Kitchens. And the event is taking place at Coquito Restaurant, which is located at 31 Forester Avenue in Warwick, New York. And that's taking place on February 9th from 12 in the afternoon to 5 p.m. There is a $20 admission, which includes 10 Tricky Tray raffle tickets. Advanced tickets can be found at Sun Indulgence Tanning Salon in Warwick and Coquito Latin Cuisine. And if you cannot attend, you are encouraged to just visit their donations, and they're donating at donate.wck.org/Warwick for Puerto Rico. Estamos contigo, Puerto Rico. All right, we have to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll hear about a festive bilingual musical called We Have IRÉ. Don't go anywhere.
Praise the Lord. I'm Evangelist Barbara Mayo. I have a program called The Great God. I come on every Saturday at 3:30, channel 70 and 36 on Files. You need to catch me because it's a program to encourage, to lift up, and if you don't know anybody that haven't heard about the program, tell them about it. They'll be encouraged, for God is good. God bless you.
welcome back to Open, everyone. So, Pregones PRTT is proud to present We Have IRÉ, a new multidisciplinary theater work that explores true stories of immigrant Cuban artists living in the United States. The musical focuses on Latinx identity, including Afro-Cuban, by breaking down stereotypes and revealing the complexities of being Black, immigrant, female, and bilingual. And joining us to tell us more about the musical, we have IRÉ playwright Paul S. Flores, and we have IRÉ director Rosalba Rolón. Hello and welcome.
Hello.
Thank
How
you.
are you?
Thank you for
Thank
being
you for having
here.
us, Rhina.
Oh, of course. Oh my gosh, the magnificent work that Pregones PRTT continues to share with our community is really priceless.
Thank you.
And so thank you for bringing it here on our set to share with our audience. I understand this play was actually was having a run in San Francisco, and now it's here in the Bronx.
Yay.
Yes.
We love the Bronx.
And I love the title, We Have IRÉ. And we could start there with the word IRÉ, because I think the world could use more of IRÉ right about now.
Right about now.
Absolutely. Well, Ire comes from Yoruba, from African, Nigerian area, and it refers to like a spiritual condition of a blessing or balance, or when you're, in step with your purpose, and you receive blessings from your ancestors for doing what you're meant to be doing, following your destiny.
And so this play is about a group of individuals who happen to be at a party. And I haven't seen it yet, but I'm assuming that each story kind of steps out of the party.
Yes.
Right.
It does. There you go. There you go.
So, I'm always in awe over your style of directing. So if you could just share, I guess, what you're implementing this round versus the previous round, because I know you've produced this before, and also from San Francisco's version as well.
Well, it is an incredible, exciting mix of identities of people. We have Paul as he's half Cuban. In San Francisco half Cuban, and we're so immersed in understanding the Cubans of Miami, Cuban people of Miami. But in this round, I just have discovered, and Paul has helped me discover the whole Cuban culture in San Francisco and Oakland, in that region of California. And so we have superstars like DJ Ladies, the first Afro-Latinx amazing star and DJing, Jos Vaniteri, who's the composer, the master jazz player and sax player and his band, and dancers, and Bronx's Christine Cato, Bronx's own girl, who's playing one of the characters. And the idea is that all four stories of the dancer, the musician, the poet, and the DJ are told on stage by other people and by themselves, and also danced by amazing trio of dancers, and live music, live band, 4-piece band. So all of the stories sort of like are the usual story about, my goodness, I need to live, or whatever it is. This is not about politics as much as the human journey. Going from the campo in Cuba to the small town, to the larger city, to Havana, and then realizing actually I can travel the world because the island is part of the world, and how they coincidentally find themselves all in San Francisco and become friends and begin to reveal their journeys. Some of them more dramatic and dangerous than others, and it's just the beautiful show about the human spirit and what we all have in common. So the idea of bringing the Bronx Boricua to direct the show was just like, I'm so lucky.
It was my dream. That was what I wanted.
Because there's a dynamic there as well.
Cuba, Puerto Rico son, I'm telling you, it's been, yeah.
I've been following Pregones for like 15 years, and since I saw El Apagón in another state.
Right.
And ever since that, I watched that show, it was like, I want to do what they do on stage. And so it was me really trying to pursue the opportunity to get as close as I could to Pregones, because I felt like their style of theater was what I wanted to do. Being Cuban American and not really seeing the style of Pregones theater anywhere else in the United States, I thought like they tell a story so well, so beautifully, with an integration of music and storytelling that nobody else really does. Plus it's bilingual, which is the way I write. So having Rosalba do this, this is a 12-person cast, And not too many directors can handle dancers, musicians, storytellers, video, live music, recorded music, DJs, Cubanos, Puerto Ricans at the same time. So she was perfect for it, and I really wanted to work with Rosalba. So it was like, I have Yosvani, who agreed to compose, and then I called Rosalba immediately after that and said, okay, we got a show. Are you interested in this? She's like, okay, let's do it. This is before we even had a story. It was like, this is what we're going to work with. So,
It's been a great ride. So we actually premiered in San Francisco and then went to Washington, D.C., and now we're premiering in New York. And tonight, actually, Friday, I want to say that joining our colleagues from the Bronx, the proceeds of every ticket sold throughout the weekend, every soda, every glass of wine sold, all of it, 100%, is going to our Earthquake Relief Fund for Puerto Rico to support artists in Puerto Rico in the region. People forget artists are people too, and their families who have lost so much and still they are out there in the streets, you know, working with the children, making people feel a little better about what's going on. They don't have a place to be. So that is full out in going into some cash micro grants to the artists themselves. So tonight we have still seats available, sold out tomorrow and Sunday, but tonight we have space.
Tonight is it.
Come tonight.
Come tonight.
Yeah.
But we're so happy.
And reception.
Yeah, and a reception and the party, because we like to party.
Of course, that's what the whole play's about, right?
It is. That is. So there's a couple new things we are adding for the Bronx. We added a whole rap that Kristen gets to do, which, you know, we have a strong hip hop tradition in the Bronx. So that number is really cool. You're gonna be surprised by it, and I think that's a lot of fun. And
right,
we have
because
a
it
couple
sounds like
new songs.
it's going to be eclectic, right?
Yeah.
You've got everything. You got hip hop, you've got jazz,
you got salsa,
you've got salsa,
and montunos, and just you know the DJ ladies mix is from the core.
Yeah,
it's from the mountains of Cuba. It's from the it's from the towns. So it's all that combination.
Beautiful.
And
people get to
folklore,
dance.
Oh, really? The audience gets to dance?
Yes.
You know, it doesn't take much to invite me. That's all you got to say. Those are the key words.
Yeah.
It's like all the audience gets to participate.
Yeah.
We love
couple
that.
times.
A couple times.
Yeah, we have you doing a conga and we have you doing salsa in the beginning.
That's
When
wonderful.
you come into the theater, you're coming into a party.
That's lovely.
It
So the
is.
audience is part of the party as
Absolutely.
well.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
before we go, I want to ask you, like, what has that been for you to find that camaraderie with a Puerto Rican theater company, being Cuban, representing the Cuban voice, and being able to execute with the authentic voice?
Well, I'm a poet, so to me, the Nuyorican tradition of poetry is like just part of who I am and how I write. So, you know, Tato Laviera, Victor Hernandez Cruz, Sandra Maria Esteves, all of those artists are already inside how I write. Those were, you know, some of them were my teachers. So it's like, it's natural for me to want to work with Puerto Rican artists and writers and creators. I don't really see a big difference, to be honest. There are some things, like when you come to the show tonight or any time this weekend, you're going to hear the Cuban accent. That is a big, big thing. There is a difference between the way Cubanos speak and Puerto Ricans speak. And I was telling that to friends earlier. I was like, that's important for me that you hear Cubanos.
Right.
Yeah.
But a lot of the aesthetic that you see tonight is very pregones too. So it's like the Cuban pregones show.
The Cuban Pregones Show. Wonderful way to wrap it up. Thank you both for bringing it here to our audience. And once again, you guys, we have IRÉ will be performed at Pregones PRTT Theater, located at 575 Walton Avenue. For tickets, you can visit pregonesprtt.org. And once again, in light of the earthquake in Puerto Rico, Pregones PRTT and the creators of We Have IRÉ are designating 100% of box office proceeds for this New York premiere towards emergency relief for artists in Puerto Rico. Funds will be dispersed in the form of micro grants to impacted artists. And once again, Puerto Rico, estamos contigo. We have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll hear about a new art exhibition in the Bronx. Don't go anywhere.
Here we are, Jerome Avenue, the heart of the Bronx. This is where I grew up. Business is booming, people are moving, everyone works hard. Nothing was handed to anyone here. I've been in here to take my passport pictures. I bought flowers here for my mother. Oh, this is where I get my smoothies, by the way. Continuation. This is what we call the O, 170th Street. It feels so Bronx. Hey, my man Fonzie. We've walked up and down the corridor, nothing but love. And I'm glad to say that Jerome is home.
Hey, welcome back to Open, everyone. So, always inviting you to get social with us. That's right. Tweet us at BronxNet TV, and while you're there, tweet me too at Rhina Valentin. So, the update is an exhibition showcasing the works of Bronx artists, blending their personal experiences, influence of street culture, and the rich history behind them to create original works of art through different media and styles. Some of the artwork focuses on issues affecting the Bronx, such as displacement, gentrification, street violence, and economic struggle. And joining us to tell us more about the exhibition, please welcome Bronx Council on the Arts Outreach Coordinator Rosalie Ruiz, the Update Curator Chiara Cristina Ventura, and artist Monica Flores, and Audrima Wardlow, and I hope I didn't butcher that one. I was Audrima? Audrima. I said it right. Okay, just making sure. Woo! Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Congratulations on this exhibition.
Thank you.
From what I understand, it's been a long time in the making.
Yeah.
In expressing the next generation of art voices, right?
Yeah.
So, Rosalie, since you're representing the Bronx Council on the Arts, this whole event is actually by the Bronx Council on the Arts. So let's talk a little bit about what that process was.
Well, we have a partnership with Hostos College for the Longwood Art Gallery, and we curate 4 shows in partnership with them every year. This one, definitely, like you said, it was a long time coming. For far too long, I think the narrative in our current climate is that younger voices don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You hear that with the Greta Thunberg and Trump. You hear that when it comes to climate change, a whole bunch of, especially being Black and brown people, oftentimes our parents don't listen to us. Mm-hmm. So this was really our ode to advocate for the younger people in our borough through whatever expression they felt was necessary. And that's what we do at the Bronx Council.
So honestly, I'm just going to disagree with you a little bit because, you know why? Because you are our future, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's good that you made a stand to represent and present the work that you presented. But honestly, your voices matter more than anybody's.
Oh,
right
it's
about
refreshing
now.
to hear you say that.
Oh,
Not too
absolutely.
many people would say that.
Oh no, absolutely. So I want to talk about the process and how you decided to curate, right? So I want to make sure I get the names right.
Yeah.
Kiara.
Yes.
Kiara. And so Kiara, I love that y'all young and y'all looking all fly, you know, with your color hair and your color scarf and you got the hat. Look, I got the level. I got the level. Because I'll be living in serious denial. And so, Kiara, how did you choose your artists?
These are artists that I've been communicating with for years and following them throughout my curatorial journey. I started curating in the Bronx about 4 years ago, doing underground pop-ups and warehouses and apartments, whatever I could find. So these are a lot of artists that I just came across throughout my journey of finding artists from the last five years. I do use Instagram a lot to look at art, to do research, and also to just get informed about what's happening. So yeah, these are just artists in my circle and that I've came across in my journey.
That's wonderful. And so how did you decide on your storytelling, right? And because we're working, you're presenting different mediums of art, right? You've got sculptures, you've got photography, you've got art, visual arts, fine arts. So how did you decide on the story? I understand it's somewhat thematic.
Yeah, so for me, I was thinking of when people think of artists from the Bronx, they usually think of older artists or they think of graffiti artists like from the 70s and 80s. And then for me, it dawned upon me, I was just like, wait, do people know about like what's happening here? Because there's so much things that are happening here, underground shows, punk shows, you know, pop-up shows. And I wanted to just update everyone on the young artists that are producing work right now, right here in our borough.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because you're like, oh, hello, we're here. We're here. I'm excited that you've been out here.
We've been out here.
I love it. Yes, no, but that now you've got Longwood Arts. And Longwood Arts is, you know, it's up there in the art world here in the Bronx.
Yeah, and I'm so happy that they supported the vision and understood how important this show is.
That's lovely. So I'm going to talk to some of the artists here. Monica, I believe we have an image of yours, right? So it's funny that she would say, oh, it's the 80s, da, 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 da. And I'm like, pero that photograph looks like it could be something related to her mother's era.
Yeah, and that was sort of my intent when photo documenting what it means to be uptown, what it means to be from the Bronx. I actually graduated from Lehman, so I do want to give a big shout out to Terry Towery from the art department who taught me the craft that I now know today.
Yay.
But yeah, this is sort of my ode to youth, ode to diaspora, ode to art existence and resistance, because there's a lot of beautiful emerging subculture that's being created in the Bronx as of now, and this is us honoring, you know, our hip hop roots, our salsa roots. I've also photo documented the punk shows I created here in the Bronx, and yes, we have Bronx punks, and it's amazing and it's beautiful, and it's Black and brown POC, having fun creating. So it's been a fun process creating and showing the community what we're up to.
Lovely. And Odemia?
Or
Dreamia. I don't know. I'm like Odemia. Dreamia. Dream.
Yes.
And so I noticed that in your artwork, there's a lot of feet. Right. So it could just be interpreted as footprints, but it's really, what I interpreted from it is path and direction.
I love it because, you know, I make my work and I focus on the soul, the feet, the soul, because I really want to focus on the journey and that narrative, how, you know, each of our footprints is a story. And so the piece that I worked on for the update was really wanting to pay homage to my upbringing and my childhood in Fordham. I grew up right on Fordham and Sedgwick, and my fondest memories were walking up Fordham Road in the shopping center and seeing all the Nike Air Force Ones, these crisp Air Force One soles, and wanting to be a part of that culture and, you know, feeling like, wow, like there's this scene, there's people, these are my people, and this is our own little code, like this is our language. And so I felt that it was imperative to really show and pay homage to sneaker culture, to the fashion, and really to the individual souls that make up the community.
I love it. I get
Thank
it
you,
too,
thank you.
right? Because there is a code, and there is this other language that's spoken when you come from a certain area, and it presents itself through different ways, and in different genres at that. And you're able to identify, right? Oh, I know that person came from here. I know that person came from there. So I want to ask you, Kara, the artists that you chose, if you would like to name them, please do so, and what they represent. But really briefly, because we don't have too long. But I want to acknowledge the other artists that were unable to be present today.
Sure. Yeah. So, of course, we have Monica Flores.
Right.
Audremia Wardlow, Seren Lilico, he's a conceptual and performance artist working with found materials, abstract artist. Then Estelle Masonette, she works with found objects and she creates street scenes with these found objects. And then we have Patrick Alston, who's an abstract artist. You can see influences of graffiti. He literally uses different fabrics, spray paint in his work. We have Stanley Steele, who's also influenced by graffiti in that era, but makes it his own and kind of mixes it with like advertisements. And then we have Ron Baker, who his work, he grew up in the projects. So his work is influenced by growing up in the projects, but also he has a sense of spirituality in his work. And then Dylan Gardner, who works with flowers a lot, and she actually, they actually used branches in their work, and their work is also really spiritual. Who else? Rocio Marie, who works with sculpture and clay and made Bronx Babe scenes. So she made an ode to just Bronx girls and their styles and aesthetics. Who else? I think I got everyone.
Yeah.
That's 10 people.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Yeah, and so everybody's within the same age bracket, right?
Yeah, so everyone is under 30. And that was one of the things that drew me to their work, but also I just wanted to show like Bronx artists can be experimental and we are a part of art history. I wanted to show that we're continuing in adding to the conversation and adding to birthing new ideas. And adding to different concepts and also being a part of art history. I studied art history and a lot of the times I don't see our narratives being represented at all. And I want to show that we're still creative, we're still innovative in our forms, we're adding to the history of conceptual art, abstract painting, photography, documentary.
And bringing in your culture in the process of being rather your subculture from the urban culture, right? It depends on what you identify with first. Right? Because there's the urban culture and then there's the subculture of your ancestry.
Yeah, it's really using like that, going by like the for us, by us model.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Congratulations,
Thank
ladies.
you.
All right, Rosalie, before we go, I'm going to give you the last word. So, I know this exhibition already opened, and it's currently on display at the Longwood Art Gallery. It opened, January 6th, was
January 8th.
January 8th, and it's going to be on display till?
February 26th.
February 26th. Nice. So people have plenty of time. Now, Longwood Arts Galleries, do they have hours in which people can go?
I believe it's 12 to 6 that you can visit us, completely free, always accessible by the 2 and 4 train. If you take the 6, it's a little bit of a walk. But yeah, we're always open, we're always holding space, and we want to make sure that we're here and you know what we have available for you. If you're an emerging artist, if you're an established artist, we're here for you.
It's easy to get there, though. You just take the 4 or the 5 or the 2 to 149th, and it's a half a block.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely accessible. Awesome. Congratulations to you all. And thank you for bringing here to our audience. And you guys, once again, the Update exhibition will be on display until February 26th, and that's happening at the Longwood Arts Gallery in Hostos, which is located at 450 Grand Concourse. And for more information, you can visit bronxarts.org. Stay tuned, because Bobby C's Weekly Sports Roundup is coming up next.
After Hurricane Maria, the effort to rebuild Puerto Rico continues. In the award-winning series, Puerto Rican Voices, we feature innovative projects and tackle the issues pertinent to the island's long-term recovery. What will it take to rebuild the economy? What has been the diaspora's response? Join the conversation as the Center for Puerto Rican Studies at Hunter College presents Rebuild Puerto Rico.
We built a media network for you.
BronxNet TV.
Come learn in your new state-of-the-art studios at Lehman College.
At Mercy College.
And coming soon to the South Bronx in the Hub.
Inspire with your stories, culture, history.
Your Bronx on BronxNet.
Engage with us.
Connect with us at your channels and at BronxNet.tv.
Learn, engage, inspire. BronxNet TV.
From the Bronx
to the world.
BronxNet.
We begin with a performance fit for a king. Ben Simmons did Martin Luther King Jr. proud on MLK Day, posting an all-star performance in Brooklyn. Here's more.
What has been the key to you kind of growing your game?
Just staying locked in and taking it a day at a time. I know, it's not going to happen overnight. But I should stay on course, stay locked in, and trusting my teammates and my coaches.
Ben Simmons was ridiculously dominant tonight. He played some 4. I played him at 5. He had the ball. He was just multi-skilled, used all over the place in multiple positions. Ball handler, screen setter, post target. He's on the 5-man. Defensively, he was incredible tonight.
He did a great job of just picking and rolling and picking the spots out there, getting guys open. He was doing everything tonight, man. Like, a lot of little things don't show up on the box score. That was where he really made a huge impact also.
He's credit to him. He's amazing when he goes downhill. One of the best people at going downhill. He can finish with both hands. He can put his body on anybody, and he was rebounding at the end. So to him, he was just playing his game. He was in rhythm.
Got to continue in Toronto. Get there tonight, rest up, probably get on the floor, and then stay locked in, stay sharp. And I know everybody in here is wanting to do that.
From one kingly performance to another, LeBron James, the NBA king himself, had 20-plus in a win over the Knicks Wednesday night at his favorite place to play in the association, Madison Square Garden. He followed that with a kingly performance, a triple-double against Kyrie Irving and the Brooklyn Nets last night. We go back inside the locker room for more.
Oh, there are no easy games, especially in the NBA. All these teams are going to come at us, and they know the type of position we're in right now and what we're fighting for. And we acknowledge that fact, so we're just going to come out there and compete and see where we end up.
To be linked with the greats, that means a lot to me, because I grew up and idolizing Michael, and idolizing Kobe, idolizing these guys, gaining inspiration from their craft, gaining inspiration from their stories. Being a kid that I'm, from Akron, Ohio, so that's huge. Anytime I'm linked with the greats, or I'm able to do something in my career where I'm mentioned with any of the greats, it's a pretty cool thing. But as far as looking at the scoring, I don't know. It doesn't that doesn't mean much to me. Just the overall point of my game is what means more to me. Me being able to be an overall all-around player, being able to be successful on the floor. And being able to contribute to the franchises that I played for, the 3 franchises I played for so far in my career.
Yeah, we do have history, and I think that the magnitude of our relationship extends way beyond the floor, and I'm just appreciative. I've learned so much from that guy, and to see what he's doing at this age, this many years in the league, he's consistent, and that's a great player right there.
Our BronxNet cameras got to see LeBron in action both nights here in the Big Apple. He may love the Garden, but he saved his best for Brooklyn with Irving and KD in the building. LBJ had 27 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists in his 10th triple-double of the season. And the Lakers made a season-high 19 three-pointers to pull away and beat the Nets 128-113. The Nets will look to bounce back against Detroit Saturday night. The Knicks are looking to rebound tonight against the reigning world champion Toronto Raptors at MSG. NHL All-Star Weekend is upon us. The final game before the break here in New York featured the rival Islanders and the Rangers at the world's most famous arena. Isles posted a 4-2 final despite a late surge from the Broadway Blue Shirts. The Islanders started strong on this one, jumping out to a 2-0 lead. They never looked back. Here's more.
We've had so many games in a short period of time, and we're mentally and physically fatigued, and the break's going to do us good. So having that, if we would have lost that game in any way, shape, or form, I think it would have been a big punch to the stomach. But we didn't, and we're going to have a good break now and a well-deserved rest.
I don't think the scoreline's indicative of how well we played tonight. I thought we did some things pretty well, but like I said, a few lapses against good teams, and they're going to capitalize. So we got to shore up those things. But I do think we're worlds better than we were early in the year.
Couple good power play goals. First one is kind of a good tip in front of the net. Second one, good shot. Maybe I should have gotten that one, but that's how it went.
The Rangers will host Detroit following the break. The Islanders will return against Vancouver at home. And the New Jersey Devils are back in action after the All-Star break, returning on the ice in Ottawa. Time for some quick hitters. New York Giants legend Eli Manning will call it a career this morning. The 11 a.m. press conference for the two-time Super Bowl MVP will mark the end of an era here in the Big Apple. He certainly has Hall of Fame credentials after 16 years. Expect to see him in Canton in 2025. Speaking of Hall of Famers, Derek Jeter and Larry Walker will headline Cooperstown this summer. The announcement came down Tuesday with a press conference right here in New York on Wednesday. More on the captain in the C list. Stay tuned. Sticking with pressers, the New York Mets will introduce internal candidate Luis Rojas today as the new manager of the ball club, replacing Carlos Beltran. Congrats go out to Bronx boy Kemba Walker. The Boston Celtics guard has been named an all-star starter in the NBA's upcoming All-Star game in Chicago. My boy, easy pass. And a shout out to Conor McGregor, who I was wrong about in his return to the octagon. Cowboy Cerrone didn't even make a minute against the Notorious at UFC 246. That Las Vegas card was pretty good. The UFC returns to action this weekend with Fight Night on Saturday night. And on a final sports roundup note, the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs are heading to Miami for Super Bowl 54 next weekend. The NFL will feature its annual All-Star game this weekend, the Pro Bowl. Those are the headlines. We hit the C list for a look into Derek Jeter's place in Cooperstown. That Derek Jeter did not become baseball's second unanimous selection to the Baseball Hall of Fame on Tuesday, a year after its first such selection, was something of a surprise. Jeter's failure to receive 100% of the votes, he appeared on 396 of 397 Baseball Writers Association of America ballots, offers a reminder that it's difficult to get all voters to agree on anything, even a case as seemingly open and shut as Jeter's Hall of Fame candidacy. Here's more with Derek.
This is an absolute honor. It's an honor for me to go in the Hall of Fame alongside Larry, alongside Ted Simmons, and congratulations to the late Marvin Miller and his family. This is something that is not a part of the dream when you're playing. I mean, you're playing and you're just trying to keep your job. That's first and foremost. And you're trying to compete year in and year out. You're trying to win. And when your career is over and done with, then it's up to the writers. So I just want to once again thank the baseball writers. I want to thank my family, my parents, my sister's not here, my wife is here today, my two young daughters, who are too young to make it, but one day I'll be able to show them some highlights. So thank you once again.
Derek Jeter was awesome all the time, but he shined most in the fall. Mr. November himself, he played an extra season in the playoffs, 158 games to be exact. He has 200 career hits in the playoffs and 111 runs in the postseason. That is insane. Not only is he a slam dunk first ballot Hall of Famer, but you can make a serious case that he deserved every single vote, including the one that he didn't get. Jeter is likely the third or fourth greatest shortstop ever behind Hall of Famer Honus Wagner, and in the mix with Hall of Famer Cal Ripken and a guy that likely could be a Hall of Famer and Alex Rodriguez. But even with all of those guys that I just mentioned, not one of them was better in the postseason than Derek Jeter. And that's what it's all about, folks. You play to win the games, and few players in baseball history have done it better with the game on the line than the captain, Derek Jeter. Larry Walker got his own C-list recently. I was right about the Canadian kid, and Jeets just collected maybe his 1 millionth C-list right here on the show. Congrats, gents. We'll see you in Cooperstown. That's your sports. I'm Bobby C.
Hey, welcome back to Open, everyone. It's now time for this week's Open Artist Spotlight. This week's Open Artist Spotlight features a Bronx native who's been studying music throughout her life. She's known for her raw, emotional, and spiritually driven lyricism while channeling her deepest experiences through and in her music. Here now to perform Vibes is Off. Please welcome Xiolynn De La Rosa.
Hey, ooh, ooh, hey, yeah. Tired of the way things been going down. Always told myself I wasn't with it till I did it. Now I'm falling down, round after round after round. Jumped into the water, that's what life's about, yeah. Even if it's nothing, baby, stand your ground. This thing ain't meant to be nothing too serious, no. Sweetest bliss, emotionless, falling down, falling deep into sweet nothingness. Something like this, thought I would would drift, shift to another stage. Having some fun, yeah, it's a play. I could lay with you all day, yeah. Laid up with you all day. Laid up with you. Hoping you'll ask me to stay. You'll know what I'll say. Or maybe hold off, 'cause I can't help myself through these feelings I've gained. Hey, make it go away. Loneliness, the hardest pill to take. Need somebody's touch, even for the day. Even if I say it ain't no thing. Feeling so strange at the end of the day. Sweetest bliss, emotionless, falling down, falling deep, deep, deep into sweet nothingness. Something like this, thought I would drift, shift to another stage. Having some fun, yeah, it's a play. I could lay with you all day, yeah. Laid up with you all day. Laid up with you, laid up with you. Intimacy is a thief when you give it and you get it under forbidden sheets, under covers we sleep. And we touch just to go for a week without reach, without speaking. Thug it out through this season, wishing my feelings weren't so deeply seasoned by you. It's true, I'm sick and tired of the creeping. I'm ready for something realer, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. That's Vibes is Off.
Thank you, guys.
I was on the sidelines, really in there. I'm like, OMG, you wrote that?
Yes, I did.
Fabulosity. Honey. I would totally listen to that song.
Oh,
Just to
good.
remind myself, yeah, all the time. Like, just to remind
Because
myself.
when the vibes is off, you feel it. But, like, sometimes we just get so complacent when the vibes is off.
Yeah, you don't need that mic now.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good.
Okay.
But you're coming up double. There, you're coming up echo. But you're right. You're right about what you're saying.
So funny.
You're right about what you're saying, and it's important, right? Yeah, I love that song. I
Aw,
love that
thank
song.
you.
I love it.
So
Now, I mean,
happy.
you sound fabulous, but the words, like if people are listening, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I like
That's
to.
right.
I like
and then
to
you
write.
threw in that
So.
Ebonics and like thug it out for the week. I'm like, yes. It's like, oh my goodness. So where? Oh no, where are you heading, young lady?
Right after this, I got a rehearsal I gotta go to.
That's right.
That's right.
You're so
No,
cute.
that's what I'm. Yeah, I guess I'm just figuring it out as I go. Is what's happening. But I'm a singer-songwriter. I work because I got bills to pay, and I do a lot of shows because I love to perform. So.
Well, it's good that you're off to rehearsals, which means you obviously have a show coming up. But really what I meant and where are you heading, it's like, where do you see yourself? I mean, this genre of music, is what is that? Is that considered pop? What would you consider that? R&B?
I would say it's more just like soul, R&B. I have very strong pop influence from listening to pop music growing up so much. But I'm Dominican too, so I listen to all my bachata, my merengue, everything. So I don't want to put myself in a box.
Right.
But this song, I guess, is more like R&B, like kind of chill music.
Yeah.
I'm very chill. I like chill stuff.
Yeah.
That's me.
Well, you know, the title itself, you know, Vibes is Off. So obviously you're influenced by vibrations.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I got that.
Everyone is.
All right, so you're off to rehearsals. I know, but not a lot of people don't pay attention to it. All right, we live in this society where everybody's just
Everyone's
on
just
autopilot.
numb, yeah.
Right?
I agree.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like your song is like, hello, wake up. Right? When you get caught up in the superficial level of a relationship.
I like it.
Yeah,
But
no,
you got
I
it.
like
Yeah,
it.
that's good.
Yeah, so you mentioned you were off to rehearsals, which means you're obviously performing somewhere. Where are you performing?
Yes, I have a show tonight at the Bitter End down on Bleecker. It's 147 Bleecker Street. If you guys don't have anything happening tonight, it's at 10 o'clock.
10 p.m.
10 p.m.
And so how frequently do you perform live?
I try to do at least once a month.
Once a month. Is it at the bitter end or?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah. If you guys know of any venues, let me know.
Yeah?
Here in the Bronx too. Yeah, I perform
There's
all
plenty
over.
of venues here in the Bronx. I hope you guys are listening. But for now, we had her here on Open. And I can't wait till you come back and say, hey, I won my Grammy, Rhina. For more on Xiolynn De La Rosa, you can follow her on Instagram at Xiolynn, and that's spelled with an X, by the way, and 2 N's at the end. All right, that is our show today, mi gente. Thanks to all our guests for coming through, and to you, our viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of the show, you can check out the recablecast tonight and 24 hours a day at BronxNet.tv. I'm Rhina Valentin, and from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide paz, prosperity, y amor. Adios.
We are together. And for the last 20 years, we have been building on a vision to share our views, our voices on our channels. We are the Bronx. We are BronxNet.